Hello everybody, welcome back to another riveting episode of Language, Litigation, and Integration Part 180, Casual Conversations 93. As always, I'm your host Bradley Bowes. The primary function of this lecture series as of now has been for the past 4 years. As my constitutional rights are violated, Article 1, Section 8, Subsection 7 of the United States Constitution gives me the right to my writings and my discoveries. The Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution gives me the right to collect compensation for private property being distributed for public use. Are there any laws in this country? No. Is there any people with any maturity? No. Has anyone passed a 14-year-old girl? No. And so that is really the primary function of this lecture series. Is again, I'm really kind of tired of doing all this new stuff. I'm really not tired of doing it. I'm tired of doing it with no money. I mean, it's illegal. How many times can I make a lecture series about being illegal and then having my shitty business partners that happen to be my parents threaten to breach a contract every two months to 2 years because they caused crimes against me, and I just have no access to court. Filed a lawsuit against Ohio State University in 2018 to publish my paper. Top level government people have told me in person we can do basically whatever we want. So I'm just trying to figure out why they're torturing another human being and why they think their children deserve to be treated any differently. And so, I'm not threatening anybody. I'm saying I'm going to defend my property to the fullest extent if there is ever justice in this fucking world, and I will. But there's just a bunch of people running around killing fucking children, violating the law, being too pathetic to do anything besides play games and come. And I get disrespected every 2 days, every 2 weeks, every 2 months, every 2 years. And then once 2 years go by, it never happened. It literally never happened because nobody grows up. Nobody can take responsibility for their actions. I'm the scapegoat for an entire species, and I will never live a day of my life because other people have the maturity level of a 14-year-old girl. And so, fun stuff, current events and talking points, relevant random stories, a podcast response. Not many stories, but on the job hunt just to see if I didn't get anything. But again, job numbers just come in. We broke ground. Super great jobs. Where the fuck are they? So I guess I'll start off with that. The job hunt, because again, I can't collect my property. I'm trying to cover about $35,000 a year of bills, maybe, strictly because my property is fraudulently devalued and there's absolutely nobody that will enforce the law, and I get disrespected every 2 weeks to 2 months by my parents because they don't know how to behave and they don't know how to treat me like a professional adult and they don't know how to respect my property. They disrespect me in my home, and it just won't stop. I am in the most privileged society ever, and I have been tortured, neglected, and abused since I have been a child. Since I've been a child, I've just been the victim of crime my entire fucking life. And an entire community of disgusting people did this to me. St. Francis of Sales, Columbus, Ohio. As soon as I sue you for defamation and ruining my professional life, it's true. You guys absolutely slandered my name until I can have a career or family. So I hope you guys have a big bank account. I'm gonna throw you in prison and take your money. But yeah, so I've submitted 9 applications. I've gotten 3 denials with, again, no response whatsoever, and nothing else until last night. I got a text message from Hi Bradley, we received your application for a financial consultant position, blah 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 blah. And it's just like, turns out it's a long message. But it's a 1099 contract, basically, just like, it's the same opportunity of like, it's like Transamerica. It's a financial consultant, it's really just Transamerica. And so this shit again, man. 10 years ago when I had 0 credentials, besides being like a personal trainer, these are the only opportunities I would ever get a single response for. It's these shitty like multi-level marketing bullshit or Transamerica sales insurance bullshit. Again, I've never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I want someone to say, hey man, I'll give you $40K a year, you type some customer service responses, or you translate this, or you do this, or or your bar and restaurant works, or your alcohol company gets valued at a proper valuation, or one of your 15 lecture series gets distributed. But that would never happen. So it's okay, then I just want a job. I don't want to be it's like, are you a hard-working, do you have an entrepreneurial mindset? And I'm like, I currently manage $2 million of a portfolio. I'm just trying to bide some time, and I'm looking for more of an upper-level financial consultant position, if anything, because I, again, have a 10,000% bona fide lifetime return trading, self-appreciated, and about 15 derivations, or 15 PhDs worth of derivation in economics. Where are all these jobs? But again, I deal with the mid-level managers. The upper-level people, the people that own the businesses, the people that run the companies and shit, they know who the fuck I am. And they're told, Eric Weinstein on Left Street's podcast, if you talk about it, if you do anything, you will go to jail. I have 630 videos out there. One thing gets clipped. One Twitch streamer, one YouTuber, one thing gets clicked, and I can make money off of YouTube today. One. But that would never happen. Nobody would ever treat me like a human being. And so it's just already fucking exhausting. The first response I get is a total trans-American bullshit. And then it just says, and then she's like, I just said, I currently manage 2 million plus. I have a lot of industry experience. 1099 is concerning. What is the pay range and is it cold selling? It says, depends if you'd like to start part-time or full-time. It's like, that's not a real job. If you would like to start part-time or full-time, it's like they're just looking for somebody to do some commission bullshit. It says, no cold calling or cold door selling, but we have 10 professional prospective selling to show you how to and what to say. It's like, I know how to manage money. Like, this is not, I'm not trying to, and there's like, we all start at entry-level positions. I'm not an entry-level fucking person, and I would take any standard job. I would go, again, do some back-end accounting for 40 grand a year or some bullshit, man. I just want a structured job or my money, which again, the only reason I'm looking for a job is because my parents they threatened to breach contract, and I just don't have access to court. I do not have access to law enforcement. And so she responds, and she's like, we also help you extract 10 to 5 referrals for each appointment. It's just like this aggressive sales bullshit type of job is just AIDS. So I just said, doesn't sound like a good fit. If you have more senior positions available, feel free to reach out. Appreciate the response, Brad. And that's supposed to be the end of the conversation. Then she responds, this dumb bitch named Skylar. Her parents clearly fucked weird because her name's spelled all funny. And it says, we don't hire quote-unquote senior positions. Everyone starts as a training associate. And show me one training associate with 10,000% bona fide lifetime returns finance and economics PhDs that are just literally on the internet, and you just have to click publish. There is no value to accreditation in universities. It's fraudulent. It is fucking fraudulent. There is the United States Constitution. Nobody cares. Violate the law. Kill fucking children. But that was supposed to be, again, how is that in any way not an appropriate response from me? And then she says, and we have to set metrics to hit. But the first message said no quotas. So that locks in your promotion. Senior marketing director is the highest promotion you can achieve. We have people hit that in under 2 years. No boss or higher up. You're your own boss. That is the biggest red flag in the world. You're your own boss. No, I want a company to say, here's dental insurance, here's health insurance, and here's $40K a year. That's what I fucking want if I have to get any fucking job at all. I try to do the entrepreneurial things. It's fraudulent. You can't do it. Nobody will network with you. My credentials are ruined. And then she says, but no worries, or it says, she said something that was just the strangest thing ever. It says, she said something like, oh, here we go. She says, but no worries, it's not for everyone. Take care. And just in like an uppity way, like, yeah, man, it's not for everyone. This high-paced sales environment. Yeah, motherfucker, I'm sitting on fucking a lot of money. That's drug money I can't do shit with. I have a 200K of fucking cash. Just spent 400 grand last year. So it's my one trade that's legal. And I have the most profound competencies at basically 15 different disciplines at least. But yeah, it's not for everybody. Yeah, doing fundamental derivation is only for me. But I just don't have constitutional rights. And nobody... But then she was like, it's like, what's your firm's name? This is not how you talk to somebody in a professional manner. Our agency is Legacy Global Enterprise, but we do most of our business with Transamerica. We're a non-captive agency as well. I said, quote, but no worries, it's not for everyone. Take care. Is not an appropriate way any hiring manager would respond. Please take me out of your applicant pool and enjoy your fraudulent business. No need to be rude, sir. This business truly isn't for everyone. Your initial message was misleading. Your Transamerica's scammy MLM bullshit as fuck. And then she says, I checked those companies, or she's like, we also go through Nationwide, Fidelity, Alliance, Prudential, and other A-rated financial institutions. Last time I checked, those companies aren't scams or fraudulent business. Are they distributing intellectual property without just compensation in direct violation of the Fifth Amendment? That's fraud. And when you do it collectively under a predicate act, that's a racket. RICO, baby. Treble those damages. So no, I'm pretty sure all of those businesses are fraudulent because, again, if they're distributing my property, there's not a chance you have a professional licensor at anything from a state or the country without it directly being influenced by my research. Doesn't exist. Not possible. Infinite agent index does not exist. But then she says, I hope you have the day you deserve, Brad. Die the fuck off, bitch. I go from genuine, like, let's just throw my application out there, see if I can get a response. Have the day you deserve. Do I deserve to have my constitutional rights violated? Do I deserve to be denigrated every 2 fucking days of my entire fucking existence? Well, I have been. It is legitimately what's occurred. Because of fraud. My property is devalued because of fraud. And I have, again, 15 different things that would make me $1 million today if it was allowed to exist. If I was allowed full publication and recognition for what I've done. $1 trillion. I'd clear $1 trillion in a week. But we just have to just destroy Brad's life, and who gives a fucking shit at all. So that was the update on the jobs. But yeah, there's but again, seriously, fuck the application process. What I want a job. I can, whatever job you have, whoever you is watching this, I can do your job. Whatever it is, I can do your job. Especially if it's some bullshit like adult babysitting, upper level middle management, or business owners. I can do that very well. Whatever it is, I'm more innovative, more creative, more intelligent, more hardworking, more disciplined, more creative output than whoever was watching. So I just want your job. Let's compete. Let's not put our Indeed lecture or applications through the computer. Let's say, I want this fucking job. I can do it better than you, and let's see who does it better. Right? So it's competitive, but only for the pathetic people. Only for the pathetic people that are allowed to access the 514,000 new fucking jobs. For all the pathetic people that are allowed to go get drunk for 4 fucking years, get a bachelor's degree, and they get an opportunity from their dad or their fucking mom. My fucking God. It's impossible. Life is utterly fucking impossible because nobody will enforce the law. But yeah, we had over 85,000 tech workers have been laid off since the start of 2023. Last year was about 160,000. Seems to be a mix of administrative, HR, not just like programmers and stuff. But again, I don't know what skill set you could ever develop to get meaningful income. So, but I'm still throwing it out there. I don't see why not, because again, like I don't care. Like I just want my quality of life to improve, and anything that would get me out of this city. I mean, I would relocate anywhere. Like literally, that's on my application. Would relocate anywhere. I would work for pennies on the dollar for an average person, because again, I don't care. Like most people, like again, are trying to start a career. I just want to cover my basic bills, and past that, I do not give a fuck. And I went out of the city so I can maybe get a girlfriend and start a family one day. I'm going to be 30 this year, and I've never had a girlfriend in my entire life because of criminal activity. That's fun. But yeah, that's really about the only. Netflix introduces. Start off with some economics. Netflix introduces its password sharing restrictions. Every 31 days, your device must log into your home Wi-Fi network, or your account will be blocked. Goes into effect at the end of March. Maybe not. I saw another Reddit post where it was like maybe they were just rescinded it. It's another PayPal thing where you clearly did this and it was like, oh, maybe not. No, just commit fraud, crimes, run shit back. Who cares? Do whatever the fuck, do whatever you want. Probably again, if you have any computer competency, you can probably VPN that shit or just home route that in a variety of ways. For your casual user, yeah, it's like the kids at college or traveling people or blah blah blah. So, I don't know how effective that would be. I don't really care. It won't affect me. I'll still buy Netflix myself. Again, I have my home Wi-Fi all the time. So, it's not like I don't have any friends or family to share my passwords with anyway. So, that's good stuff. Let's make sure I'm still rolling. That's about it for the economics. So, we got, obviously, another day, another 16 million shootings. I gotta laugh at this one. California police kills W amputee who was fleeing. This... with the shootings, you really kind of think you're going to get out of it. Like, this one, this cranked up dude kills 6-year-olds. This 6-year-old's shooting their teacher. That dog is shooting his owner in the front seat. That 6-year-old's lighting up the Las Vegas Strip. That dude's shooting up the gay nightclub. So you really kind of think you're going to run out of, like, headlines where it's, like, past, like, how many dead, how many wounded. This was a new one. W amputee was killed while fleeing. Sorry for laughing. Not really. It just sounds fucking ridiculous. So I'm thinking, but when I see the headline before I watch the video, no body cam footage, just great, some cell phone footage barely. But so I'm just thinking, what would be worse? Like, is it like double arm amputee, double leg amputee, an arm and a leg amputee? Like, what would be the most like dangerous double amputee that's out there? It turns out it was a double leg amputee, which would probably be more dangerous than a double arm amputee. This dude is literally in a fucking wheelchair. Okay, and so I watch the footage. They get called, police. Anthony Lowe, 36 male, was a wheelchair user killed in Huntington Park, attempting to flee without legs. Police responding to a stabbing by a man in a wheelchair deployed 2 tasers Anthony made multiple throwing motions but didn't throw the knife. He was at a distance from police with no civilians immediately nearby. So, it was a pretty big knife. Again, knife versus gun with the dude has no fucking legs. Doesn't have any legs. And so he like, gets out of his wheelchair. He's pretty mobile for, he's like hobbling around on stubs, man. God. But this one, again, with no immediate... They're responding to a stabbing. So, again, assuming that the caller isn't, swatting somebody, which, again, you can't be sure about that either. And so, assuming he had attempted to stab somebody, or did the stabbies to a civilian, but there's no civilians nearby, and he's not super mobile. The tasers, again, the dude has no fucking legs. But, so it's like, what damn, there's no chance a dude with no legs is going to be able to, like, actively stab you for a mobile police officer. And so it might have been a little different, again, if you had, like, a hostage or someone closer, but there has to be a way to de-escalate that without just killing the fucking guy. Because, again, it's a big knife and he's, like, waving, throwing it, like, throws it. That seems like John Wick or some shit. Police do have bulletproof vests on, standard issued, correct? So a knife hitting a bulletproof vest is not going to do dick. So maybe he goes for an eyeball shot. But I think he can duck out of the way more likely than the dude with no legs is fucking John Wick. So, honestly, I'm sorry to Anthony Lowe's family. I just read that fucking headline. And typically with the shootings and police killings, it's like, what novelty could come out of this time? But a double amputee getting mowed down by police, that was a new one. So, that's what I think there. I think they should be charged with something. I see no reason to use deadly force in that scenario. Unless the motherfucker's John Wick aiming for your eyeballs with like a big... It was like a if you have like kitchen knives, like one of your bigger kitchen knives, probably closer to like a machete. But again, unless he hits the exact point, bulletproof vests on, no civilians nearby. Again, I said, like there was a situation in Columbus, Ohio we covered where it was a civilian charging another civilian with a knife, as opposed to a civilian versus a police officer. And this civilian had no legs. So, wowzers. Might as well get done. I think there's got to be at least one more shooting. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, man shot and killed by police after cleaning out deceased grandmother's apartment in Wyoming, Ohio. That's north of Cincinnati. What's up with all of these? It's all of these places in Ohio I've never heard of. Wyoming, Ohio. There was another one, like I just saw like East Palestine, Ohio. So I've never heard of that shit. I think there was like a train crash or something. I don't have that written down, but there's just all these places in Ohio I've never heard of before. It's a little north of Cincinnati. But he was called a neighbor called placed a call to a non-emergency line that was routed to general dispatch anyway. What the fuck is the goddamn fucking point to have a non-emergency line that gets sent to the same person that makes $35,000 a year, has no values, and swats you in 2 seconds? What the fuck is the value as opposed to having an actual non-emergency line? Huge problem, practical problem again. Mike DeWine, the buck stops with me, brother. Well, like, have shit that works, brother. Gary Lewis Jr., brother, and Nate Lewis, and Gary Lewis Jr., Jr. the third. Like, do your fucking jobs. Can you guys do anything? Like, fucking anything? No, of course not. That's a huge practical problem. But Joe Frazier Jr., 28 male, didn't listen to commands, attempted to flee in a minivan, shot by officers when they say it was pointed at them. Body cam footage to be released. Thought it was supposed to be released yesterday. I've not seen it. Did not look further into it. I'd follow up if it becomes a big thing or not. Don't know. But again, person in a car versus police officer. Again, I think it was like at 1 a.m. But somebody else says that they're stealing from an apartment, and the dude's just cleaning out his grandma's apartment. It's like, what the fuck, man? So the civilian's a problem. Again, civilians should have some sort of responsibility in a scenario like that. Again, I don't fucking know. But then I don't know why you would not listen to commands at all. Again, as someone who's been swatted multiple times, threatened by police, disrespected in my house, and it just being called a threat for existing basically every 2 weeks, every 2 days to 2 weeks to 2 months of my entire life. And so again, when a pathetic, scared person has authority over you, just hopefully they don't kill you. You just do exactly what they say. You be as polite and as calm as possible. You just hope they don't fucking kill you. So I don't know why you want to listen to police or commands, but again, he wasn't fleeing from police. Well, again, it's just like the probable cause, man. Like if I'm cleaning out my grandma's apartment and someone says that they're stealing from me and cops come up to you and you're like, what's going on? Or if I'm in my own home and I accidentally trip my security system because the people that sold me the house and give me the codes and they're so fucking aggressive right away. It's like, how the fuck is that any part of my culpability? It isn't. And now practically what do you do about it? I don't know. Again, if a neighbor thinks somebody's stealing, it would be the right thing to do to call the cops. But again, it's just the overall maturity level of this species is 14-year-old children. Once they get scared or offended, they're going to violently assault you, especially if they think it's the right thing to do and they think they're in the right. A police officer is allowed to use force. They're serving and protecting. They're just killing people cleaning out their grandmother's apartments. And so, I'll wait on the body cams footage, but almost certainly not a car versus a car of a person that's not doing a crime. Again, past like not answering your questions or not being cooperative. Again, because again, you would say there was probable cause. There's someone searching through an apartment that's supposed to be abandoned. Well, it's like if it's the kid's next of kin or the grandson, it's like it's not a crime. But in the scenario of practicality, neighbor calls, police show up, the dude's all freaked out, he's immature too, and someone gets killed. People don't know how to behave. It is fucking disgusting. It is every day, every minute of every day, every person I have ever met. But almost certainly, blanket statement, person in a car with no weapon, and again, I don't know the interaction again. If it wasn't listening to commands, again, they should be able to like run the registration of the car and see who it is, and run the registration of the house or the apartment and see who's supposed to live there or whatever. But if you didn't commit a crime, and then besides again, like maybe not cooperating, and I don't know if there's no probable cause, but there was kind of probable cause, but again, it's just fucked. Just fucked. But again, car versus police, with any scenario, really, no. Just out of no. So I would charge them as well. 3 bodies discovered in abandoned Michigan apartment believed to be the bodies of 3 missing rappers. They've been missing for 2 weeks. Never heard of the rappers, barely heard of the story. I think that's all the dead bodies we have for today. Yeah, I think so. According to the CDC, the median number of sexual partners, here's a classic Reddit title, it says, in a lifetime, for men aged 25 to 49 is 6.3 and 4.3 for women. Well, ages 25 to 49 is not a lifetime, and it said the average, but it was the median, and the average was 7 for women and 6 for men, based off another Redditor's comment, but it got a lot of upvotes and seemed pretty legit. And the study was for heterosexuals only. I believe it was for heterosexuals only. Yeah, I'm really bringing down that average, that median. I'm at the 0. I haven't kissed a girl in 10 years. Yeah, maybe 9 years. Sweet. Yeah, again, got my Twitter data or Tinder data. Again, I already read it off. I was going to pull up the pictures and post them up here, but I downloaded the link off I got the charts and everything, got the data, put it in the little chart maker thing, got the charts, and then I went to click on the chart yesterday to print it out for today's episode, and it said data not available, so I was just like, I don't care. But again, my match rate was again like 0.67% on 20,000 right swipes after about 120,000 swipes in general. So it's like a lot over 3 years and 66 days, and I've gotten 2 numbers off Tinder and never a single close to an actual real date. So I don't know how people socialize. Well, you don't get scapegoated. You don't have your constitutional rights violated and your reputation destroyed by a group of people that don't know how to behave while they're trying to play games and come from the age of 18 to 25. So. Yeah, good. How do you find a sexual partner? Have some maturity, have values, and don't get scapegoated. Number 1 thing is to not get scapegoated. The Grammys 2023 will be presented on Sunday, February 5th. It's the 65th Grammy Awards. I think it's hosted by somebody and Amanda Klutz, chick on the daytime show I watch, The Talk. But yeah, that'd be cool. Again, I tried to be a musician. It didn't work out. Can't sing, can't play the guitar. Can't play the piano, can't compose. So, as I'm over here struggling to pay $30,000 a year, I'm sure all those people at the Grammys really struggle for $30K a year. But yep, you guys contribute to society, you produce value for your species, you put it out there into the world, and it got shared. And I haven't done any of those things, so I would never be invited to the Grammys, I'd never win a Grammy, I'd never be able to produce a song. That's just music. Music and science is just way over my head. I just need a menial, blue-collar job because I'm not competent at anything. I'm not capable of learning. My life's research has no value whatsoever at all. So that'd be cool, again. Literally talk shows or award ceremonies every 2 weeks to 4 weeks for these people, as I get disrespected to the point where I can't eat food and just pay my bills and sleep properly every 2 weeks. I've never slept consistently my entire existence. Should I try busking? I thought about this, just trying to go, just play music. I don't know where I'll do it in Columbus, but I don't really know of too many heavily foot traffic places, maybe like Easton. I don't know if you're allowed to, but I was thinking maybe like, why the fuck not? It's winter time right now, but like, why not the fuck go play music in a public place? And not even like busk for tips, busk for YouTube subscribers, for fuck's sake. So I might try to do that. Again, my music career should be so fucking prolific. But I like looked up the money people making, and I still couldn't afford to live, man. Like there was no way to clear $35,000 a year without credentials or an opportunity. Every opportunity I've worked for has been stolen from me, and all my credentials are fraudulently withheld. And more importantly, it's the networking. Everybody, again, I've been a balls to the wall entrepreneur for an actual 10 fucking years. I've put a group together that's worth $17 million, appreciated my own fucking portfolio, own a bar and restaurant, own CBD enriched alcohol in the entire country, own 15 different lecture series of intellectual property, have a PhD thesis that unifies natural sciences, have movie reviews. Again, there's like movie reviews, movie columns, people write for magazines and make money doing shit like that. I have 84 of those. Clearly I can talk over, cinematography and plot development and characterizations and stuff. But I need an opportunity. I need another human being to say, here, this person deserves a chance, deserves a job, deserves an opportunity, deserves... and I've joined an investment group. I bring $100K and go join an investment group. I had $600K cash before I bought this house. I would join an investment group with $500,000. So it's like real fucking assets that I just can't manage properly because of crime. I wouldn't be looking for a job whatsoever if they would give me a time frame within 5 years. I have no problem bleeding out my savings. I just don't have a way to make more money or have a time frame. This is year 7. 7. It's torture, man. It's actually literally fucking torture. Nobody gives a shit. I could not make enough money to, again, people watching, I have my house and car paid off, $200,000 in the bank, trying to cover $30,000 of expenditure a year, which does include, again, like website hosting and other things to start businesses here, and other things to do this, or buy this piece of equipment, or do this to try to start more business. But I'm not allowed to do anything in this world. Fucking absolutely dick fucking nothing. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And when I say that, people are like, you're sad. Nope, I just need my money. Financial stress is a real state of mind. It's a headspace. It's thick. 2 C's. And it's like, please let stop. It says year 7. And all I do is steal from me and teach your kids to steal from me. And every state licensure, every document that says you have credentials is theft of intellectual property. It really fucking is. We got some more stuff to go. Make sure I'm still rolling. So obviously, currently in the real BBC, we're working through the Yea Holy Bible, just the history and tradition of the Hebrews. Which again, I still don't know what Jews are. But I just have a question: when did Jerusalem become part of Israel? Like at the beginning. Because when I read that shit, again, I don't have the exact verse pulled up. Again, you can go find it in one of the videos that I read it. But it's very clear that it says Israel's fighting Jerusalem. So I just typed in to Google, when did Jerusalem become part of Israel? And then it said 1967, Jerusalem was reunified as a result of the Six-Day War launched against Israel by the Arab world. So again, Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, I believe, or like the embassy or something. But clearly in the Old Testament, Jerusalem is not Israel. And so that's just an open question. I don't know if I'm missing some history or something. But clear as day, somewhere in one of those verses, it was like, Jerusalem is fighting Israel. So, wasn't really looking for the 1967 time frame, but just like when it says reunified. So when was it unified before and then broken apart by the Arab world or whatever. Then again, I keep thinking there was, because of the Ephraim and Manasseh, there was like two groups of Jews. So I thought there'd be like 2 main groups. So I just Googled what types of Hebrews are there. And they say almost all Hebrews self-identify with one of 4 groups: Haredi, ultra-Orthodox, Dati, religious, Masorti, traditional, and Heloni, secular. So I don't even know, again, those are the English spellings of the Hebrew words, but like I don't see how those are unique differentiations. Ultra-Orthodox, how's that different than religious? How is that different than traditional? How's that different than secular? How do you have secular religion? What does that mean? But I don't know. That's just what I read quick. That was the history lesson for today. But just as my own insight and my own research, clear as day in the Old Testament, Jerusalem and Israel are not the same group. So not sure when originally Jerusalem became part of Israel, let alone the capital. So that was my history insights for today. I did watch PBD. I'm about done with these podcasts. The guys they run in circles and they just all steal from me and they go play games and have fun. So this is probably one of the more interesting conversations with David Pacman. But so again, PBD again is a child that never grew up. He's a businessman that says America, America, America. You can work for 2 weeks, you can make improvement. I've been working for 22 years, I've not made an inch of progress. But he's an underdeveloped 14-year-old male that has some business success and thinks in absolutes. And so this was one of the harder conversations, not harder to watch, but just like Patrick and David, you look like an absolute fucking clown, brother. And so again, the conversation is really like Trump versus Biden. And again, I don't do politics whatsoever. If I had 14 brain hemorrhages, a stroke, amnesia, and Alzheimer's, I might do more structured politics. Again, you can't not do the news and history without having, I don't want to say opinions, because I prove things. I don't have opinions. I don't care about my own opinions. I just prove things. My mathematical capacity is too pronounced to do anything besides just state facts. But the entire time, Patrick Bet-David just demonstrates the same behavior as every worthless boomer that I have ever seen. He resorts to absolutes. Once he gets offended, he just starts projecting his insecurity onto somebody else. He blames them for it. He acts like it's not his, and he has zero capacity to stop doing it. And so, there's one statement, again, they're really just talking about like Biden or Trump. It's like not like it shouldn't be like super big. Patrick Bet-David's just like, well, David Pacman, if you don't know the numbers on the polls, he like literally starts like mocking him. Like, well, you know all these polls, David. This is your world. You should know these things. You should know these things. Okay, Patrick Bet-David, you're a business guy, right? Oh, insurance is a scumbag business, so you're not really a business guy. You're just kind of a scumbag. But how much is what's the market cap of Amazon right now? How about who is the CFO of Apple right now? How about how many chips did NVIDIA make last year? How was the conversion rate for Bookings.com? You're a business guy. Come on, man. You know those numbers. Come on, man. It's your world, Patrick. It's your world, man. But if you watch the actual conversation, again, Patrick is clearly offended, doesn't know how to behave. He's a worthless fucking boomer or close to it. David Pacman, again, is probably millennial my age, maybe a little, I think he's like late 30s. And I biologically, I consider my age, I consider plus or minus 3 years. Maybe 2 to 3 years. But David Pacman is clearly just trying to have a conversation, and Patrick Bet-David is clearly incapable of being told that they're not like Patrick Bet-David is just getting offended. David Pacman, they're not even like having a conversation. Pacman is just like, this is the first I've heard of this dude whatsoever. But he's clearly more just mature in terms of having a conversation. And so it's just the dude's just trying to set the ground rules of facts. Of again, when you go to court, here's discovery, here's what happened, here's the things you can't really debate. Then you argue on top of it. But Patrick Bet-David's just like, oh, so Biden's the best. Oh, the Democrats are the best. This is the best. And Pacman's just like, dude, just like calm down. Let's just set some facts so we can have a meaningful conversation. And Patrick Bet-David's just incapable. And then he says, you are clearly filled with so much resentment against Trump. And at no point in the conversation did David Pacman ever present resentment. And again, I have had my mother say that to me, those exact words. You have so much resentment. No, you don't have the emotional capacity to hear things that don't vibe with the way you think of yourself. My constitutional rights are violated. I'm under financial stress because of it. And every 2 weeks or 2 months, my parents will put that financial stress onto me, and they caused it. They caused me to have bills. And so, again, the bar and restaurant, the reason I made the bar and restaurant was because of another episode of my mom, like, well, we're not, because she says, we're not going to be able to support you forever. Again, like, I need your fucking support as opposed to supporting my constitutional fucking rights. So every time they talk about money, in addition to the actual financial stress, it says my research is meaningless, it's valueless. And again, I would be department head, I would have my own university today if I had my constitutional rights enforced. But Patrick Bet-David said, you're filled with so much resentment. I've had my mother say to me, you're filled with so much resentment. I am not, and David Pacman was not. People that have the emotional maturity of a 14-year-old have some sort of authority or some sort of identity or arrogance or ego, then they have to assert their authority over you. Whether that's my mom threatening to breach a contract, which I'd absolutely take legal action against simply for what you agreed to, or watching a podcast of somebody who again is stealing from me. He can't stop saying it is what it is every 3 fucking minutes. And so again, if you watch the conversation, David Pacman exhibits no resentment, and this is about politics, Biden or Trump. So it's like, who cares? But Patrick Bet-David can't hear Republicans. Capitalism isn't the greatest thing in the world. And again, as a capitalist. And again, capitalism, socialism, those are words. Society needs to function. People need to grow up. And people just talk in high-flying blah, blah, blah land. And so, but then again, Patrick Bet-David then carries on and goes, we clearly don't have your intelligence. Again, just he's like mocking the dude. And David Pakman's, not getting mad at all, just like still trying to carry on a normal debate. Again, I don't debate things, I prove things, personally me. And people violate the law, kill kids, and say, not my problem, and then they go get offended. Patrick Bet-David is everything wrong with demonstrates every bit of shitty behavior that should be eradicated from this fucking society. And you have his little bitch boy Adam Sauce next to him, because again, Adam Sauce works for Patrick Bet-David, so he's not going to be too aggressive. He's just kind of like, oh, there, I'm a little bitch. I gotta suck Patrick's big old wiener so I can have a paycheck. Okay, well, you guys are stealing my intellectual property, so I'm gonna make sure you don't have a paycheck. The Sauce, Patrick Bet-David, because you're in a role, Patrick. Your podcast has 500,000 subscribers, correct? You are demonstrating shitty behavior to everyone around you. You are a terrible fucking person, and you're a criminal. And again, if you made money in the insurance industry, you're a scumbag. So then he says, so Biden is the GOAT and Trump is the nope in response to any criticism of Trump. Again, it's just like, Patrick Bet-David, the little bitch beta boy, has to defend the Republican Party. Michael Franzese has to defend the Republican Party. They don't have values. They're beta males. They join a group, and then they share the same insecurity, and they have to defend it at all costs. Defend the king! Our king is Trump! Defend! So it was a terrible display of maturity by PBD and a rather boring conversation past that, but I just liked the tension. It was fun. Patrick mocks David Pakman for not knowing the numbers, because PBD is a business guy. Yeah, tell me all of those business numbers I just rattled off, Patrick. But as I said, Patrick literally can't listen. I turned the conversation off at about an hour and 10 minutes and 22 seconds. Because he gets to this point where it's like, what tax rate is reasonable? Again, it's just, that is the quintessential behavior of people that speak in absolutes, and absolutes are incorrect. Or they're not nuanced enough, they're not developed enough. What tax rate is acceptable? And David Pakman's like, for what? Because Pakman's stances seem to be like he's a Democrat, and to me the word socialism capitalism really means fucking nothing besides, can you own private property? Then get past that, I want society to fucking work. Seriously. So, socialism and capitalism doesn't mean much to me. I certainly believe in private property because it's an extension of your work. You create efficiency or value for society. You should be rewarded for that. It's a natural state of existence. But what tax rate is reasonable is way too general to be applicable to any meaningful scenario. And Pakman's like, is it going to go to roads and firefighters, or is it going to go to a political contribution over here or whatever? Again, that is why your taxes should be directed by the person paying them. And so David blankets the conversation with a question that's too general to be meaningful. Pakman tries to make it more of an interesting conversation, and Pakman seems to his tax rate was 30%. It seems to be like that's too much. And Patrick Bet-David was like, well, I agree there, because again, Patrick Bet-David has four brain cells, and it's no taxes, small government, drive fast cars, and you can work hard and start the American dream. Yeah, I can't. But tax rate, I'd be again. If I could direct my taxes, again, it's too general of a question to respond to. And so I had to turn the conversation off there. Patrick Bet-David literally can't listen and displays every bit of behavior that has destroyed the world. I don't say destroyed the world, but has retarded the world from moving on to a functioning state. What's in my headphones? Dance Gavin Dance, Jackpot Juicer. 2022 album. The lead singer is also a solo artist. His name is Tillian. Slapper. That is definitely going to be my next album that is going to be on repeat for a while. Every song, the breakdowns, the vocals, cleans, scratchy, the growls, all fire. So, heavily recommend Jackpot Juicer by Dance Gavin Dance. Trump declares he will pass a law to end the transgender madness by making it illegal to be anything besides your born sex. Any fraudulent statement about history will be prosecuted. All of them. We covered transgender in it at length. There's not much less to say. There is a spectrum of biological phenotypes. But to codify torture or codify the inability to manifest your own identity is no. Even if they don't have working reproductive organs after they transition. If the grown adult wants to make a choice and it does not affect another grown adult's life, they should be able to make that choice. And if you make a choice that affects another grown adult's life, you should face consequences for that choice. But that's good. Virginia Virginia b-ball coach, 22 female, posed as a 13-year-old in a high school game, LOL. Or Alicia Boykins wore an absence player jersey. That's maturity at its finest. Nothing says growing up like faking to be a high school basketball player as the coach. Like nobody's gonna notice. So they were able to get into the game, score some points, and then they were promptly kicked out of the game and fired. So Alicia Boykins, that would be a badass bitch. Put on for the team. Poses as a 13-year-old and dunk on another 13 and 14-year-old as a 22. Yikes! That is wow. At least that's better than shooting up a school. I'll put it that way. At least that's better than going on a shooting rampage. So, weird as fuck, again, more primitive behavior, because we don't resort to violence, but we resort to being the provider, or contributing, or just, again, being so selfish when I have an identity as a basketball player. Yeah! Jumped all over the place. Are we done? Now we have one more. Oh, the suspected Chinese spy balloon found over the northern U.S., the size of about 3 school buses. The U.S. scrambled the F-22s. I hope Johnny Appleseed has his maintenance log up to date on the F-22s. Get them lug nuts. To observe up to 65,000 feet, being monitored closely. China says it is theirs, not from the government. It says it's a civilian weather research balloon. Can you trust what the Chinese government says? Not a lot of the times, but this would be too blatant to be a lie. It's like we're going to send this big military balloon playing this fucking day and no one's going to notice. So I believe the Chinese government in this scenario. They're talking about shooting it down, but there might be a lot of debris and hurt people on the ground. It might shoot it down over the water. So, I don't know. There's a big Chinese balloon flying around. But wait, uh-oh. Look at all this news coverage for a Chinese balloon. That UFO up there, that was a Chinese balloon. Look at all the news coverage. So what about the actual UFOs? What about those guys? Forget about those. Hooked up my vibration machine. Literally just gotta vibrate light through a water bottle and video camera the fucking resonance patterns on the fucking, like a projected service. But again, just keep committing crimes, keep committing treason, kill a bunch of kids, suppress science for 70 fucking years, pass laws that say you don't have to respect, take consequences for your actions, and then tell me in person that we can do basically whatever we want. Well, I'm going to respect the laws you pass as much as you respected my laws. So, continue to kill kids. No one gives a fuck. My constitutional rights are violated. I'm still open to any opportunities, whether it's joining an investment group, buying a functional business, getting a job that is an actual job, not some hustler MLM. Go get referrals and that. Oh fuck no. My old neighbor Adam, why are you still doing this? Because again, I had people directly interacting with me from the government or research groups or whoever for 2.5 straight years. And once 2 years go by, it's a nothing burger to my parents because it's really a mix of my parents don't want me to do better than them. They want me to pay my own bills because my mother literally said to me, it's like, I don't like in a boss bitch tone. Like, I don't think I need to pay my bills and your bills. You made a fucking business agreement because your kids' constitutional rights are being violated. And again, the only reason I even did a business with the alcohol company, because I unified the natural sciences before I signed a fucking deal. I think 50% of equity of CB-enriched alcohol in the entire country is worth a little more than $10K a year in a stipend. I think so. But we have to disrespect Brad's entire property, violate his law, and then say, well, it's not our responsibility. And my credentials are fucking ruined. So mom, dad, I hope you watch this. I don't care if you get offended or not. You have legal obligations. I will 100% sue you. And if you make me actually sue you, it's going to be a real lawsuit. Time, court fees, everything. So I don't want to do that, but I don't have an option. And I'm tired of being financially stressed. And I told you in this lecture series, when my mother was going from one, I forget whatever job she had to another job she has now, if I feel financial stress one more time, then I'm going to sue everybody involved. And I'm not fucking kidding. Because I am doing rigorous intellectual research every fucking day. And it's criminal that I can't do that professionally. And I am the only professional doing it. So all I need is financial stability. And they don't know how to manage money. It is 10 fucking years of profound going on stress, endangering my life because my parents do not know how to manage money. And all I need is my own income, and you can pay me in 1,000 different fucking ways. So the families of Central Ohio have slandered and defamed my name to the point where I can't access my credentials, I can't get employed. And it's fucking hilarious, because now it's like, again, like I'm going on 30. So these people I'm competing with for like entry-level jobs are literally fresh out of college. 22, 23, 24-year-olds that are just fucking hive mind fucking idiots. So no, if I asked for a senior role again, I'd be a partner in an investment group today, now. My God, there is just nobody will network with me because of crime. They've been told to commit crimes. They will go to jail if they don't commit crimes. Well, you're going to face me once we do change the fucking law, and once if I ever become a somebody, Brad Bowes ever becomes a person that serves decency and respect. If you have killed children, you must face capital punishment. If you're a part of this racket to any extent, Miles Harris, Liz McGiffin, Brad Johansson, Colleen Marshall, you are going to fucking prison. And I'm going to make sure of it, that anyone in your first-person family, kids or grandchildren, that received a fraudulent piece of paper saying they can do something, gets sued for theft of intellectual property. I want their careers to be as progressive and as successful as mine is today. So thank you for watching Language, Litigation, and Integration Part 180. Casual Conversations 93. Humanity is a fucking failure. I'm not a threat. Pay me my money so I can be happy. Thanks.